Assalamualaikum, my name is NURWAHIDAH binti HAMZAH and I will explain to you what is National Policy Tourism 2020 until 2030. Basically, tourism is a social, cultural and economic phenomena that involves people traveling to locations outside of their normal environment for leisure, business or professional reasons. Additionally, the tourist sector is a dynamic and competitive market because it must be able to react to changing consumer needs, including those for customer satisfaction, entertainment, and safety. One of the nations in Southeast Asia is Malaysia, which is separated into Peninsular Malaysia and East Malaysia, two separate regions. Tourism industry as one of the largest economic sector in the world. It creates jobs and generates prosperity across the world.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is MUNIRA binti YAZID and I will continue with the issue number 1, which is the impact of coronavirus toward tourism. Already in the early months of 2020, the emergence of the coronavirus posed a considerable risk to the tourism industry in Malaysia. There was a significant decrease in the number of visitors coming from Singapore and China, as well as the fact that several nations had already implemented travel restriction in an effort to stop the spread of the virus. For instance, as a direct result of the epidemic, at least 120 hotels were forced to either temporarily or permanently close their doors. In addition, restrictions placed on travel combined with a general decrease in demand have placed the airline industry in danger of going bankrupt. The second issue is increase in prices for tourism in Malaysia. Traveling in Malaysia is not prohibitively expensive even when compared to other Southeast Asia countries. The modest price hike compared to neighboring Thailand and Indonesia is justified by the country's generally excellent infrastructure, even in more remote regions. For example, rising rates in Langkawi's tourism business could spell disaster for the island. Azizah Nordin, which is chairman of the Langkawi Development Board, thinks that the kinds of thinking gives the island a bad name. Even though the border has been open in Sabah since April 1, 2022, the rising prices of aircraft tickets would have an impact on the region tourism industry. The third issue is digitalization and industrial revolution. The tourism industry is currently undergoing a digital transition which necessitates the utilization of up-to-date solutions for the execution of everyday trip planning responsibility. According to a review of the statistics, the tourism business still suffers from digital shortcomings such as inadequate network, low digital technology skills, and inability to afford digital devices, and issues with the application system. The digitalization of service and products not only makes them more convenient for users, but it is also provides business with the potential to cut costs, expand the audience for their information, and targets new groups of people.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is AKILAH binti ASRI and I will explain about the objective of national tourism policy. Okay, first, to improve nation tourism earning by attracting more visitors. The economy of the nation can grow and more employment possibility may be created by having more tourists. The country's big economic prosperity and quality of life will both benefit from the increase of tourism. As we can see, the tourism industry in 2019 generated 86.14 billion ringgit or 13.3% of the GDP of the nation, thanks to 26.1 million foreign tourists who came to visit. Statistics also demonstrate that associated industries like retail, transportation, and food and beverage can get significant benefit from the tourist industry. Second, the meeting initiative, convention, and exhibition market in Malaysia. Malaysia has been active in the mine sector for a while. Malaysia is a strategically important country in Asia because of its diverse population, natural resources, world-class infrastructure, all the rainforests in the world, friendly people, pro-business government, and sunny and also tropical climate. free of natural disasters. Lastly, to draw attention to the world uniqueness of nation arts, culture, and history. Every nation has a distinctive culture of all its own. In Malaysia, there are several races, ethnic groups, and religious traditions. Imagine being able to sample different cuisine in a single nation, like for example nasi lemak, curry dumpling, kek lapis Sarawak, and many other foods are available. This has helped us draw tourists from across to the world who want to experience Malaysian uniqueness in terms of both food and culture.
Assalamualaikum, my name is SITI JALILAH binti MOHAMMAD, and I will present the change and the challenge of the tourism. The first change in tourism is Visit Malaysia campaign 2020 brought to 2025. Visit Malaysia is one of the initiatives made by Malaysia to promote tourism in Malaysia. The 2020 Visit Malaysia was launched on 31 December 2019 by Dr. Mahathir bin Mohamad. Unfortunately, on 18 March 2020, it was reported that the Visit Malaysia campaign for 2020 would be cancelled. The COVID-19 epidemic, which has had an impact on the domestic and foreign tourism industry, was the reason for the cancellation, according to Nancy Shukri, Minister of Tourism, Art and Culture. Malaysian tourism sector has been affected by this decision, and the National Tourist Policy DPN 2020-2030, an initiative to support the recovery of the tourist industry, was unveiled by Prime Minister Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin. He stated that the policy is a six-pronged strategy plan that is accomplished by methods including enhancing competitiveness, developing sustainable tourism industry, and disaster readiness. All the measures are taken to ensure that Malaysia can recover from the economic slowdown brought on by COVID-19 in the tourism sector. A part of the result, 250 million, has been set aside in the 2023 budget to support the tourism industry. In addition to possessing a diversified flora and fauna, Malaysia was a country rich in national treasure and natural beaches. The overall budget was in line with the Visit Malaysia year in 2025, which aims to attract million foreign visitors and is expected to generate up to 76.8 billion in revenue. This indicates how effective Malaysia's national tourism policy was in transforming and enhancing the travel and tourism sector. The second change in tourism is increase in domestic tourism in 2021. Malaysia implemented the Movement Control Order MCO on March 18, 2020. Malaysians are required to adhere to Standard Operating Procedure (SOP) throughout this MCO and cannot roam around as their desire. Therefore, visitors did not greet the tourism centres with pleasure. Unfortunately, a few tourist attractions had to shut down since they were unable to endure the pandemic COVID-19 era. For instance, according to the number of membership renewals with the Malaysian Association of Travel and Tourist Agents (MATA), this year about 50% of the players in the tourist sector in the historic state have shut down their operation in Malacca City. The reopening of the country's border is good news for the tourism industry because it will definitely boost the sector and regenerate the economy and income. Many tourism destinations seize this opportunity to research and market their area of expertise as a result of the occurrence. The assurance of the President of the Malaysian Travel and Tourism Agents Association (MATA), Datuk Muhammad Khalid Harun, that the organisation member will support and cooperate to promote Malaysia back to the international stage by introducing a variety of alluring travel package promotions. Also demonstrate their high hopes to assist the government in enhancing the tourism industry. The last change in tourism is Tourism Recovery Plan 2022. A tourist recovery plan was created in 2022 to build on Malaysia's achievement in the tourism industry. A total of 10.9 million was redeemed under the Tourism Recovery Plan 2022, which provides incentives to individuals in the form of discounts, vouchers and refunds. The Tourism Recovery Plan 2022 has three goals that it was created to achieve. It is to increase domestic tourism, draw customers to keep making cheap hotel reservations, and put domestic tourism initiative into action. All of these modifications were made in order to carry out the National Tourism Policy 2020-2030. These methods and adjustments help Malaysia to remain relevant as a global tourism hub and to survive. The challenge of the tourism is the security and safety. One of the key factors influencing the developments in the tourism sector in the new millennium is the issue of safety. In recent years, a number of unfair practices and incidents have damaged Malaysian reputations as a safe and secure travel destination. The ASEAN financial crisis, conflicts between Malaysia and Singapore, health scares, terrorism threats, travel advisories issued by foreign governments, and media reports are just a few of the things that could potentially shock foreign tourists when they arrive in Malaysia. High levels of anxiety are frequently encountered by visitors who travel abroad, which can affect their decision to travel. Tourism experts predict that Malaysian tourism will experience a fall in the upcoming year as a result of a number of incidents and media roles in the industry. Since China began to overtake other markets as Malaysia's primary source of tourists, conflicts between China and Malaysia over the missing flight and ongoing kidnapping event in Sabah has changed the context of Malaysian tourism. The next challenge is drivers of change in technology. The use of IT, e-commerce, and other related technology solutions in the tourist, travel, and hospitality industries is referred to as travel technology. Tourism-related business observes how customers' habits, behaviors, and preferences develop. The conventional methods of client interaction are no longer as successful as they once were. This is brought on not only by the effects of COVID-19, but also by how technology has changed the way people travel. Travelers communicate with tourism business using mobile systems equipped with cutting-edge technology, where this new information network is widespread, utilizing digital tools that respond to this technological transformation. They operate in a highly competitive industry with a very demanding customer base, and the only way to differentiate the company from the competition is through business innovation. Voice search is particularly popular among consumers who are searching for booking hotels, flights, and other travel-related experience. However, Malaysia still lacks technology, making the country's tourism business incomparable to that of other nations. The last challenge is skilled human resources. A workforce that is educated, trained, smart, and entrepreneurial, and that has received professional training will be able to successfully address the issues facing the tourism industry. Business will be able to obtain a competitive edge and enhance the value of their service with the help of qualified tourist employees. Only through modern tourist education and training that meets high standards will the industry have a qualified staff. Tourism has a bright future and is a challenging industry to forecast. A set of formalized lessons that impart knowledge, develop skills, and cultivate character qualities that prepare students for career in industry contribute the tourism education. Each of the aforementioned prospective elements is significant in and of itself, but when combined, they become a potent force that will shape the direction of tourism. Now, I will pass to the next presenter.
For the first recommendation is improve safety and security in tourism. The safety of tourists has long been the first priority for travel agencies. Due to the interruption of the entire tourism industry caused by the COVID-19 virus, health and safety are now even more important. As a result, travelers' awareness of sensible precaution for their safety and health will grow over time. As a result, it will also affect their travel expectations. In other words, while making travel arrangements in the future, consumers will be more vigilant about health issues, and they want travel agencies to follow suit. In order to enable and encourage collaboration in providing safety and security measures among tourists, the local administration and the police force should work together. For instance, police stations close to certain locations can sign a charter promising to increase protection on their property. In terms of safety, travelers have prioritized their own security by keeping their personal hygiene during this pandemic COVID-19. Next, envelop smart tourism. The tourism recovery plan depends on technology to give travelers a secure, hassle-free and frictionless travel experience in the post-pandemic period, including cashless payments, online booking, contactless transaction, and contactless check-in. The Malaysian Investment Development Authority, or MIDA, is encouraging business to take advantage of the Automation Capital Allowance Incentive, which aims to promote the rapid adoption of automation specifically in the labor-intensive industry and drive automation initiative in order to support technology-related investment in this industry. And lastly, preparing human capital. The development of any location depends on the development of the human capital. The quantity and calibre of the nation's human capital base determines its capacity to provide a competitive advantage. The tourism sector players in Malaysia should train their employees to raise the quality of their service, building capacity and human capital development, which seamlessly transition from the macro level to the micro level, are necessary to support the growth of service culture. An appealing tourism trail can be ensured by changing human capital development. It may also be essential for developing a service culture that exemplifies the friendliness, generosity, and professionalism of those working in the tourism sector. For instance, Tourism Johor has provided training sessions to raise service standard. This is an excellent model that all states in Malaysia could follow in order to revive tourism in that country. As part of the agency's long-term strategy to offer the state visitor high-quality service, all parties participating in the tourism industry are required to hold monthly courses. In conclusion, due to its significant contribution to the national economy, the tourism sector in Malaysia is regarded as one of the most significant industries. This is in light of the fact that one of the most significant industries in the world nowadays is tourism. As a result, Malaysia is concentrating on growing its tourist sector to ensure that its economy is competitive with that of other nations and has an edge over those of other nations. Tourism is a very productive activity both for the tourists and the government. Also, the government should consider improving the conditions of the country as more and more number of the tourists visit their country.